Welcome to Hey Therapist. I'm your host, Leslie Ross. With me is my producer, Jay Wesley Lindley. Let's get mental.
Welcome. Here we are.
We're going to continue that episode from last week. So if you didn't listen to last week's episode, go listen. However, as random as we are, you can probably just continue on with this one and not miss a beat. So let's go.
Let's go with Leslie and Riley.
So our next attachment style is the avoidant.
Oh my gosh.
The fun avoidance. So avoidance kind of cross into a lot of things, but what you see most are just straight avoidant or dismissive avoidance. And it's all the same words for this attachment style, but you hear people kind of use those interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
So usually our avoidants come from getting inconsistent, emotionally distant, unrealistic caregivers. It's the caregivers who really only cared about chores. They cared about grades. They cared about being busy. They cared about work. They did not care about your emotions. They did not care about your feelings. They were the suck it up parents. They were the ones that said, you don't feel. Boys don't cry.
Yeah.
Girls, you need to be tougher than that. You have to power through. Your emotions are not important.
Yeah.
I'm not going to care about your emotions. I'm not going to soothe you. They may have to learn to take care of themselves and have those feelings of rejection. Like, okay, well, nobody cares, so I will just do it myself. So they are the ones who really grew up with just I got to power through. I got to do it for myself. I'm a bother. No one cares.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you give me your emotions, but I'm not going to give you mine because I don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones that grew up believing that their emotions and wants and needs were burdens. When someone wants to provide that for them, they're like, oh, no, I'm good, but I'll try to take care of you. It's like, well, what do you need? Well, I don't need anything. Well, that's not true.
Oh my God, there's something that just popped in my head so strongly right now that I literally am like, whoa. Like, it almost feels like, oh God, a little creepy.
They are expected to be independent, and sometimes they were reprimanded for depending on parents. You need to learn how to do that for yourself.
Yeah.
Go away. Go cry in your room. I don't want to hear that. When you're not emotional, you can come back and we'll talk about it. So they learn to not be emotional. They detach from those emotions. They learn to just avoid anything emotional. So they are not going to have those. You're going to bring up emotional conversations and they're going to be like, well, let me tell you about work. What? No, I want to talk about these feelings.
I want to call this person so bad because I'm like, you did.
And they can be our narcissists. So a lot of true narcissist. So if you have someone you think is a narcissist, set them down and say, tell me 3 positive things about yourself. And they can't. If someone can't do that, if they're like, oh, I don't really know. Mm-hmm. They're not a narcissist. Because a narcissist is going to rattle off everything that they do as its best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So I don't like that term has become kind of a buzzword because there's really not as many narcissists in the world as people claim.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shitty people. There's a lot of avoidant people. There's a lot of people with personality disorders. Not necessarily true narcissists or psychopaths or whatever, sociopaths, whatever you want to put in there. It's just not a lot of people are out there. But a lot of our narcissists are avoidants. They're not getting attached. They're not letting people truly attach to them. Mm-hmm. Or they are letting people get attached to them because they crave that attachment, but they're not going to burden someone with their emotions, or they're not going to put themselves out there like that. So you may get the avoidants that aren't comfortable sharing their feelings. Mm-hmm. They don't know what it's like to have a healthy emotional conversation. And for the love of God, it's so frustrating. Just tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're needing. And when I tell you something about that and I say, well, what do you think about that? Don't be like, yeah, that'll be fine. Or I can do that. If you can't, you can't. If you're not comfortable with it, you're not comfortable with it. If you don't want to provide that for me, talk to me about it. Mm-hmm. But they're so afraid of being dismissed or of the belief that their emotions are not valued, that they are not important enough to have their emotions taken care of or to be mindful. They want to take care of other people. A lot of avoidants are really good caretakers.
I was fixing to say that. They're incredible at it.
They want to take care of everybody else, but they're not going to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy. They're going to idealize past relationships, or they maybe when they get too attached, because a lot of times you'll see an avoidant get attached, and then they pull away real quick. Mm-hmm. And it's because that attachment is scary. Mm-hmm. And they realize that this could end badly, or I may have to show myself. I may have to have a hard conversation and then I'm going to disappoint someone. And I don't want to disappoint anybody because that's all I've done has been a disappointment. I've only been a burden because that's what they've learned throughout life. So they idealize this single life. They idealize this independence because they think it makes them powerful. They pull away because they think they're protecting you when really it's just more hurtful.
Yeah.
But they feel like they're protecting you from their emotions. They're protecting you from upsetting you if they say something wrong. When in fact, them not saying anything and them pulling away is what hurts you.
It's 10 times worse.
Like, I can handle a lot of things, especially if you're being genuine and sincere. But when you disappear,
and you go silence on me,
unacceptable.
oh, I will spiral.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Same,
this
bro.
person that is literally will not get out of my mind right now is literally like, I'm thinking of all the situations that happened between us. Everything that you are saying right now, every bit of this happened. And I thought I was losing my mind. I truly thought I was losing my mind. And now it makes so much sense because I never, ever processed that this person was an avoidant, but everything even that I know from this person's childhood. Oh
There's
my
a
God.
lot of hot and cold with avoidance.
It is insane. And I've never experienced anyone like that. I mean, my parents were pretty avoidant. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I love them to death, but they were pretty avoidant through my childhood. But, like, I had never really experienced it outside of, like, the parental realm until now that you're explaining all this and this is lining up with a situation that happened to me personally. Holy crap. I did not know how to navigate it. And I was not in the best place during that time either. I was definitely not secure. I won't say that. I'm just like, oh God, no wonder I didn't know how to react. I'd never dealt with someone that would pull completely away and like give me silent treatment. And I'm like, but I want to fix this. I want to fix this. And that person did not want to fix this. And it was literally like, oh my God, just please choose me. Please choose me for a moment just to even talk. Like, I just wanted to even have a conversation. And those things were not even in the same room. It was, we're going to talk about everything else. And I'm like, but we're not talking about the elephant that's standing right here.
Exactly.
Oh my God. This is like mind blowing to me right now. Like, I'm having just a full blown like revelation.
Because the anxious is going to chase. The anxious is going to chase and chase. They're going to over explain. They're going to try to make their point. They're going to make sure you understand. They're going to make sure you really get what they're trying to say. They're going to be all in all the time and like really try to make everything clear. The avoidant sees that as a controlling behavior.
Yes.
The avoidant takes your over explaining, your need for emotional attachment, your need to have the conversations to fix whatever the elephant is doing. Why is there an elephant here? Let's talk about it. They're like, oh, what? Fuck that elephant. I don't know which elephant you're talking about. But you know what I did see? There's a giraffe over here. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
They're going to avoid that. They're going to see that as controlling. They're going to see the need for basic communication, like reaching out, just telling me about your day, what's going on, where you're at, as control.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it as care, compassion, concern, they see it as control. So then they may act out, which is the silent treatment, which is the dismissing behaviors, the making excuses. Well, but I did this. Why is that not good enough?
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But what's so crazy is when the anxious person gets to the point where they're just like, all right, I'm going to just say, fuck it. All of a sudden, you're the asshole. You're the one always in the wrong. You're the one that it's like, then they want to talk. And then when they talk, it's mean. An avoidant personality, if this is exactly what I'm thinking, like I'm telling you right now, the behavior, oh God, it is beyond mean. Some of the things that can be said.
Yeah. And that's they all can have some different reactions. It's their version of the emotional temper tantrum, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to be mean and push you away and make you stop talking. I'm going to just not talk to you.
Yes.
In hopes that you will just forget about it and we can just act like nothing ever happened and keep moving on.
Yep.
Because their need to be, I say emotionally independent, but it's really about not showing any emotions. Their need to not be vulnerable, their fear of letting someone in is really, really big because the fear of someone sticking around and them being vulnerable is terrifying. It's way scarier than them hurting your feelings, them disappearing. You know, they want that distance. They want to keep that wall up. And it may be made out of glass, so they can still see you and you can still interact and they can still do all the things, but they're not real sure they want to shatter that glass. Because being vulnerable and putting themselves at risk of being a burden, putting themselves at risk, because this is their belief, right? Putting themselves at the risk of being vulnerable, of hurting your feelings. They're so afraid to hurt your feelings that they hurt your feelings, but not in a way that they see it as hurting your feelings.
And they'll never acknowledge, good God.
And so if you catch yourself doing these things, if you are avoiding, if you're feeling that strong sense of independence once you're in a relationship, it's probably not because it's not the relationship. It could be. Maybe that's not the right relationship. Maybe it moved too fast for you, whatever it is. Most likely, if you feel that in all of your relationships, if you get in a relationship, you're like, oh no, they're smothering me. They're trying to control me. Oh, really? What are they doing? They want to know where I am. And this is a relationship you want and a person you've committed to. Yeah. So they just want to know where you are, and that's a problem. Why is that a problem? And they feel it as control. Because when someone knows where I'm vulnerable. I've exposed myself. If I'm showing emotion, I'm exposing myself to be hurt, to be let down by someone who's not going to be mindful of my emotions and who's not going to take care of me. So we do have that. They have a hard time trusting people. And they are very dismissive themselves. They may hurt your feelings. And you say, that hurt my feelings. And they'll say, yeah, but I didn't mean to. So let's just move on. Okay, but how are we going to fix that? What's going to change moving forward?
I'm going to tell you, I know this is crazy, and I know that people are going to be like, why are you hung up on this right now? But everything right now is making so much sense. Because I'm telling y'all, I have moved on from this situation, but now it's like, okay, now I understand why my spidey senses was literally saying, move on. This is crazy. You've got to get over this. And I did. But I remember a conversation like that being had, and we talked about it. There was this situation, and we both were like, listen, we're sorry for this and this behavior. And the comment was made, and I will not forget it. And this should have been the red flag. And right now that just reminded me of it. Well, now that we talked about this, let's never bring this up again. Let's never discuss this again. Well, first of all, sir, the conversation we had was very large. It was a very, like, when I say it wasn't a tiny issue that you'd be like, okay, we're just like, we'll never discuss. I'm talking about, this is the fucking Hiroshima that ended our situation. You're not going to do that to me and tell me, don't ever bring it up again. And that was literally how it was addressed to me. Let's not talk about this. Don't ever bring that up again. And I remember it feeling, my spidey sense go, oh, that felt weird. Yeah. To say that, because this is the thing, we were not rekindling anything. We were just trying to move past it to see if we could just repair a friendship. That was it. And I should have known then that was my spidey senses telling me, Riley, you've worked on yourself and you are a very secure man. You don't need this right now. I understand this. You feeling, and you both feeling like you needed to clear the air. But now this all makes so much sense. It was a very dismissive moment of like the largest downfall of the whole situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, holy shit. Now I'm understanding them. Straight up avoidant. Yeah. I'm talking about like, it's like if the score's a 100 that you're closest to being the avoidant, this person's a 99.2. Okay, because this shit's insane to me right now, and I'm having every bit of a revelation right now. Holy crap. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is one of those things when you start talking about it, you're like, oh, that makes more sense now.
It does make sense. And
it wasn't actually about me. It wasn't them truly dismissing me or not caring about me. It was them being damaged. It's them in themselves and how they feel about things. And you know, with avoidance too, one of the things you'll see is you'll have maybe this grand moment. You'll have this big emotional thing, and then they disappear.
This is exactly what happened, Leslie. Y'all, I promise you, we have not talked about this. We have not discussed any of this. This is not a joke. This is not some performed situation happening. This literally
real-time processing here.
This literally fucking happened. I'm not exaggerating about any of this right now. Holy shit. Yes, that's exactly what happened. I mean, when this podcast goes down, I cannot wait to tell you about who this person is, because you're going to be like,
excited.
What the?
I want to know.
Okay, go ahead.
So another thing too about their relationships is they may have long relationships, but when you talk to them about them, you're like, where was the meat and potatoes of this relationship. So you had this behavior in your past relationship. Well, yeah. And they didn't care? No. So this person really didn't either care about you either, and they were just using you for something, or it was just two avoidants who found each other and they're like, bet you can come around every few days and we don't have to talk. And this works. Let's make this a long-term thing, you know? And you're just like, how, what? I mean, if it worked, but that's not me. I will never be okay with that. Yeah. I will never be okay with you disappearing and not communicating with me. And we will talk about it every fucking time it happens. And if it doesn't stop, we will stop talking about it because I will not be around. It is that avoidance need for space. And if you are an avoidant person, work on that first off.
Oh, God. I have so much to say.
But just like with everything else, you need that self-awareness of, listen, I'm having a rough day at work and I can't do two things at once. And so I love you. You probably won't hear from me much today. I'm going to go dick around. I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to go play with my friends. I'm going to do whatever it is. You're probably not going to hear from me much today, but know that I'm thinking about you. Know I love you. I'll call you tonight. Yeah. Okay. You should be able to accept that as someone's partner, as you understand that maybe avoid it is their style or it's not their style. Maybe they just need a day. Yeah. Everyone should be allowed to take space when it's agreed upon, when it's communicated, when it's in a loving way. You don't just get to disappear and be like, well, I was having a rough day. Okay, cool. I was too, because you disappeared on me. Like, we all had a bad day. Yeah. So here we are having a conversation that nobody wants to have because you couldn't simply communicate. Yeah. Because you were afraid of hurting my feelings. But then you really hurt my feelings. Like, do I want you to talk to me all day, every day? Yes and no. That's unrealistic, and I don't have that much to talk about. Like, I don't expect that. Do I expect you to communicate with me what you need and what's going on? Absolutely. Yeah. Like, that's just common courtesy.
And it's not hard.
It's really not hard. Like 3 seconds to send a text.
And why would you want to create this big, huge drama-filled, dramatic situation later for you if you could have just avoided all of it by just a simple way of just saying, hey, this is what I need today, you know, and here's where I'm at. Like, it's exactly. Literally that easy. Just to communicate that up front so you can avoid all of those terrible situations happening and unfolding right in front of you. And then pushes an avoidant even further.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're asking for these things, if you're saying, I need this communication, I need you to talk to me, I need this, I need that, and they're getting all squirmy and they're deflecting and they're being defensive.
Let me just say, run.
Oh my goodness.
Just get in your car and just, honestly, you know what? I'm going to give some get out. Just go.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's bad advice, though, because...
Go, because I'm telling you, I hate to say this, and I know I'm speaking from a personal experience right now. Truly, and I'm in a personal moment right now because this is very real for me right now in real time. An avoidant is the worst to deal with. And I'm just going to put it out there.
I would agree with that.
It is the worst of them all to deal with. You cannot make sense of their behavior. There is no way that you can make sense of it. And it takes a tremendous amount of work on their end. I'm going to say 7 times out of 10, they don't do it.
No, I would agree with that.
They remain an avoidant and they just keep doing this and they keep fucking up every relationship that they're in. And history shows with this person that they've continued to do that. And if you're an avoidant person, shame on you. Get some help. For the love of God.
We're not going to shame someone for how they grew up.
No, shame on them.
But get some help.
No, I'm sorry. Work on it. Work on your shit. You can cut that out or leave it. I don't care. They can come for me.
I'll leave it. No, I'll leave it because it's how we feel like when we're dealing with somebody in a relationship.
It's terrible.
I mean, it's with any of these behaviors that you get, the anxious that someone's blowing you up for no reason. Shame on you. For the avoidant who is disappearing and not talking, shame on you.
Shame on all of you.
Do better. Talk about it. Be secure in yourself. Have the hard conversations. Emotional conversations are rarely easy on anybody's part.
No,
the person that's bringing
easy.
them up, the person that's having to be accountable for their actions, it's not easy. But like you were talking about earlier, the more that you have a conversation and change the behavior, the less you have to have those conversations and worry about behaviors.
You don't have to do it.
If someone says, let me see your phone, like I'm having a moment, let me see your phone. And you're like, no, why? What? No, why?
It pushes that
my God.
Further back into it.
But if you're like, all right, here, knock yourself out. Most of the time, they're not even going to look at your phone. Yeah. Like, which is a way to manipulate, but still, if you're just like, here, go ahead. Yeah. Don't get mad when you see me talking about you because I was mad at you the other day. Yeah. Like, the more that you can reassure your partner in whatever that they are, if they are truly wanting to work on their behavior, whether they're anxious or fearful or avoidant, whatever it is, if they're saying, you know what, I really am trying to do better, the more that they see that you're not going anywhere, the more that they see that you can have your boundaries and say, listen, this behavior's got to change. I'm going to give you a chance to change it, but that chance does not last a lifetime.
Yeah.
Here is where I'm at with it. Maybe your level is 10 and they've pushed you already. You're at a 4 or 5 where the conversation starts going to, I'm not really giving you an ultimatum.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know where I stand.
Yeah.
Because you having a boundary and saying, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior is not an ultimatum. It's you standing up for yourself. And if it is, you cannot do this again or I'm done, then next time they do that, you got to be done. Because if you're not, they will keep doing that. So if you have made that statement to them, next time you do this, I'm out. The next time they do it, and they disappear and they call you, you don't answer that phone.
Yeah. The more you stay, the more that they become more manipulating.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's why I'm like, there's not really any truly massive different levels of all. I mean, other than like you just being secure, but the fear, the avoidant, the anxious, all of these things, like they literally are all not the best places to be in. We all know that.
Oh.
Our goal is to always to lead towards secure. We all have these attachment styles that inhibit it in all of us. Some, in my opinion, are just, I'm telling you, the avoidant is
it is
not just trying to compare that to a situation. It truly is the hardest absolutely to deal with, because there's nothing worse than someone just being like, not a big deal to me.
I don't know why you feel that way. I'm sorry.
There's
nothing
that makes you feel more crazy than that. I've never had more of a vulnerable, scary moment of me feeling like I was crazy than being in a situation with an avoidant person. Like, I'm telling you, I've been an anxious person myself, still have those capabilities if I lean too far into it. I've been that fearful person. I've been avoidant in situations before, but someone that lives in that state of mind, it truly can push you over the edge and you literally start questioning everything about yourself. Like, there's no other attachment style that makes you question every part of your psyche, your mindset, your just strength than an avoidant. It is the worst. That is where I will put 10 toes down and stand in. Like, a lot of that is the hardest also to come out of. It truly is. It's they've had some deep hurt. It is very, and that is where I will say I was gracious to this person. Like, I knew of the hurt, but I'm like, get some help. Like,
I understand that's how you were raised. That's not how you have to be.
You don't have to stay there.
You are not a burden. You can't expect someone else to lay bare their spirit and their soul and their vulnerabilities, and you just be like, I'm all right.
And also, history has shown that you've done shitty things and shitty things keep happening to you. At what point are you going to look in the mirror and go, damn, I probably should work through some of this for myself?
Right?
I do have a question. Does avoidance always find the need to be in a relationship? They always need someone, but they don't.
They're seeking it.
They don't. Okay. They're seeking a relationship. They're always wanting to be in one or needing validation from that person, but they give nothing in return.
I think sometimes they're good at giving in return too, until it becomes serious. Until it becomes something emotional.
Okay.
I think
that makes sense.
They can be loving and caring and affectionate. Like we talked about, they're good caretakers.
Yeah, just caretaking.
They want to take care of your needs. They want to protect you. They want to pay for the things.
But there's nothing emotional.
But when it comes to having a serious emotional conversation, they're out. Yeah. They are going to dismiss or distract or try to deflect into something else, or be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Or, well, I just didn't want you to be burdened. I didn't want to worry you. I didn't want to. Let me decide when I want to be worried and burdened.
Yeah.
And if you're having an emotion about something, I will validate that emotion for you. You don't have to be worried about expressing it. If I'm asking for too much, you can say, you know what? I'm not comfortable doing that. Don't be like, yeah, I'll do that, and then not do it, and then not give me a reason you're not doing it. avoidant. And so I may press for a conversation of what, okay, but we talked about this. Where's the disconnect? What do we need to do? And you're like, I don't know. I'll try. Because you don't want to say, I'm not comfortable doing that. Or that makes me uncomfortable. Or I'm not used to being this vulnerable. I'm not used to these conversations. You would rather avoid and be like, well, this, that, or the other. And the avoidant loves the well, but statements. Well, but I did this. Mm-hmm. Well, but I did that. Okay, but you didn't do what I asked you to do. Yeah. Like, you're not, it's like, it's almost like they don't hear you, but it's because it's something they're not comfortable with, or it's going to make them vulnerable.
I think that they truly do live in their own world, though.
I think in a little bit of a sense, yes.
Like, nothing will ever be able to tell me otherwise from my experience with the avoidant attachment style is they truly are very self-absorbed. And the reason why that they're so good at being a caretaker is because they are self-absorbed. Like, they're doing it out of just self. It's just to gain something for themselves. That's it.
And it's what they've learned. They've learned to, again, be performative. Like, that's their way of being performative. You know, in all of these, we have a way with it. They perform. And this is their way of being performative, is to not be a burden, to be helpful, to do as I'm told, to do as I'm asked, to not be in the way, to not have emotions, to just be kind of a independent little robot. Yeah. And with that comes from some selfishness. Like, it really does create a world where I'm just going to take care of me, and I'm going to take care of you until it's something that makes me uncomfy, and then I'm going to maybe disappear. Yeah. And then I'm going to pop back up, and I'm going to well butt you. Yeah. Well, you knew. Well, but I did this. Well, but this. Well, okay, yes, and you still was disrespectful because you didn't communicate. It was still disrespectful that you didn't validate my feelings. It was still disrespectful that you didn't even say you're sorry. All of these things can be true. But it is about that avoidance, really trying to, in their mind, protect themselves and protect you, because there is a piece of them that truly believes they're protecting you by not talking about their emotions, by not telling you what bothered them, by not engaging in this emotional conversation you're trying to have, because they are afraid of saying something that's going to hurt your feelings. They are afraid of making someone mad, and they want to be liked. They want to be in that space where I make you happy.
Until the other person, though, approaches something and then they get mean.
Absolutely. It can be.
I'm telling you right now, it's the most insane behavior I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's that defensive-ness that kicks in.
Oh, my God. And it's on...
Well, if I'm a shitty person, I'm a shitty person then.
Oh, God. It's on a different level.
I guess I'm just not good enough. I guess you just don't want to be with me.
Or you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and you did that, and you're like, wait, I didn't. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
what
when?
Are you
Hello?
talking about? Oh, my God. It's insane. Wow.
So it is... I do believe avoidant. Anxious are the most annoying, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Avoidant are the hardest.
Oh, hard.
And fearful is just... It really is just one of those that kind of makes you sad, because you see how much they want to be loved. Yeah. And they're just so afraid of being hurt again. Yeah. And so they just don't even put themselves out. Or they put themselves out there and then pull themselves off the shelf because they feel like they've expired or whatever, or they're bad. So it is, each one has its own difficulties.
Yes, absolutely.
And it really is about figuring out what you are, what you want to be, what your partner is, what your friends are. And that way you can interact just in the world better. Like, if you see someone that has these traits or that's doing certain things that you're like, well, why would they do that? Really say, why would they do that? What has happened in their life? Or what am I seeing as a common pattern that makes me believe maybe they are fearful? Maybe they are avoidant. Maybe they are anxious. Maybe they're pretty secure, and that's why they come off as ambivalent. And are just there and going along for the ride and have all the emotions and show all the emotions and treat people the way they should be treated. But don't get super heightened. Like we talked about on one of the podcasts, when I am trying to explain something or telling something, I do sound like I have a tone, because I'm trying to be very neutral about it. I'm not trying to be emotional. I'm not trying to be angry about it. I'm not trying to be tearful about it. I may sound like I have a tone because I'm very flat about it and very to the point. And so it can come off almost assertive or aggressive or having a tone when I'm really just trying to get my point across and trying to talk about something without bringing emotions into it, because I don't want that to sway someone. I don't want to manipulate someone with my tears. I don't want you to say you're sorry and try to fix it just because I'm crying. I want you to hear me and hear my words and understand where I'm coming from, what I'm saying, what emotion it evoked, and how to fix it.
Yeah.
And if I don't know how to fix it, I'm going to say, how do we stop having this conversation?
Yeah.
How do we move forward? And that's really what all of it's about when you're talking about attachment and relationships and communication. Is you're going to have bumps in the road. You're going to have issues. You're going to have miscommunications. You're going to have hurt feelings over things that you didn't think would hurt feelings. How do you fix it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stop the cycle? How do we fix it together? Let's communicate. Let's compromise. Let's come up with a better way so we can stop having this conversation.
Yeah.
So you can stop feeling that way. So I can stop feeling this way.
Let's heal.
So we can, let's just heal the wounds.
Yeah.
Let's just keep the scars and move on.
Yeah. I would say like being more of a level-headed person can be perceived as, like you said, it can almost be perceived as arrogancy, being level-headed. Someone asked me recently, like, how are you in stressful situations? And I said, well, not always have I been this way, but more likely than not, I'm more level-headed. Like but it can be absolutely perceived as there's a tone there. And I'm like, there's not a tone here. We're in a situation right now. I need to diffuse and fix. That's it. Diffuse and fix. Because I mean, like with what I do for work, what you do for work, I mean, like that's practically our job. Like when I'm not doing hair, I'm building homes. And typically there's a lot of stressful situations that come with building homes.
A lot of emotions.
A lot of emotions. Like I'm diffusing contractors having meltdowns. But I'm stuck in the middle of diffusing the homeowners also having a meltdown. So I have to be the level-headed one. If I get worked up, then everybody's worked up. Right. Because let me tell you, you don't piss off the design team. Because everybody's going to be upset at you. You know what I mean? So it's like being that level head. It's definitely taught me too. Like I have to be the level-headed person. I have to be that person that comes in and says, it's okay. We're going to resolve this. We're going to fix this. So that also has moved over into a lot of my, obviously, bit in my personal life as well. Sure. And someone recently was like, you just seem like you're just good. Everything's good. And I'm like, it is until it's not. Like, what would you like me to say to that? Like, I don't know how to respond to that. Everything is good until it's not good. Yeah. And then when it's not good, guess what I have to do? We have to resolve it. Diffuse and not deflect. We do not deflect. I don't like deflection. We diffuse and we diffuse and conquer. I think it's usually what we say, diffuse and conquer. So that's kind of like my thing is like you always diffuse a situation and you conquer it. Like, let's get through it. Yeah. Let's move beyond this. And a lot of times that, like you said, you can just be read wrong. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Today's been deep and
it's been very deep.
Lots of revelations. And I hope that you guys are able to take from this some good. And I encourage every one of you to do the test.
Yes.
Get online. The best tests are the ones that you do pay for, but if you don't want to pay money, the one I took was like $10. There are some free ones on there that are great as well. I've taken a couple of different ones just to see if they were accurate, and they all came back the same. But I do encourage everyone know their attachment style. Yeah. It's a lovely way to heal. It's a lovely way to level up. Because like me knowing now that I lean on that secure side, I'm like, okay, now I want to be better. Yeah. Like, how can I be better? And I know that that's kind of like, we talk about that all the time. What can we do to be better? So,
and there's so much out there now. You know, attachment styles really have come into popularity with all of the things. So there is a lot of good research out there. There's a lot of good books. There's a lot of good worksheets. There's a lot of things that you can do truly on your own if you don't want to go the professional route, which depending on what you've dealt with in your life and what your childhood was like, you may not necessarily need a professional. Now it will move quicker if you find a therapist that you click with that works well with you, that you can get through things. But you may be able to do it on your own. There are worksheets, there are books, there are other things out there that can help you be better, do better, and change into the person you want to be. So I really do just encourage everyone to get out of these bad habits. And even if you can't break your cycle completely, just getting out of the bad habits and learning how to redirect and learning how to self-soothe and learning how to identify your triggers and talk about those and explain those and communicate those to your partner is a huge win anyway. Even if you're still stuck in the behaviors, if you can say, listen, I'm recognizing now that I'm doing this, please continue to be patient with me while I'm working on it.
Yeah.
That's huge for someone that loves you.
It is.
So
it absolutely is. And it's just small steps. It is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take you time. But always remember that the smallest little stone in the largest quiet ocean can create a wave.
Absolutely.
So that's our goal, is to be that small stone that creates a wave.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us on Hey Therapist. For my co-host, Riley DeWitt, I'm Leslie Ross. You can contact us on the website at heytherapist.com or on our socials at Hey Therapist Social. Hey Therapist is an SEOK radio production and is for your entertainment purposes only. Thank you for joining us. Make good choices.